as a university lecturer in music in South Africa, I find these times challenging with the student protests, and it brings up and discuss all kind of ideas around identity and who am I, who are we, who am I as a South African, who am I as a university lecturer and a musician in this country. And I was thinking about it this morning and looking at John 4, where Jesus speaks to the Samaritan woman at the well. So I'm just going to read you a little bit from that. Verse 9 of John 4. The Samaritan woman said to him, "You are a Jew, and I am a Samaritan woman. How can you ask me for a drink?" For Jews do not associate with Samaritans. And Jesus answered her, "If you knew the gift of God, and who it is that asks you for a drink, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." Now, for me, this kind of makes me think, like, Jesus specifically illustrates this through going to the undesirable, the Samaritan woman. And in the moment, he challenges her and says, if you knew who I am, if you knew the identity of the person that you were talking to, you would ask for something. This brings me to think, like, well, do I know who I am? And, am I not in my own mind undesirable? And even though he challenged her in the moment and challenged her to think about who he was and who she was and how this relationship was to try and find her identity, she goes on to say, ask him again, "Are you greater than our father Jacob?" And even when challenged and when it was put in front of her who Jesus was and who was speaking to her, still again she went back to the old identity that she knew before. And so much so, isn't this what we do in these times of crisis, in these times of student crisis? I find myself getting involved in the narratives of who am I not, and I forget that my identity should come from my identity within Christ, from Christ. So as you go into your worship sessions and your practice sessions, and when you work with each other, remember that your identity resides completely and utterly in Christ, in who he is and what he has done for you, and not in what's going on around you, no matter what the chaos may be.